3, 2, 1. Hey everybody, welcome to the Central States Fair. It's our 81st anniversary and we are super excited. Remember, it's the 250th birthday of America. It's the 150th birthday of Rapid City. It's also the 150th birthday of Anheuser-Busch. It's the 100th birthday of Sutton Rodeo family and our rodeo, and it's also the 100th birthday for the Tilt-A-Whirl. We've got all kinds of things to celebrate this year, and they're all going to be happening over the next 9 days in Rapid City, South Dakota, part of the #1 fair in the region, the Central States Fair.
We're going to begin our opening ceremony, and of course, this wonderful fair board that I have behind me. I'm Jim Hunt, the past president a year ago, and I've had the privilege of serving this 4th year as the past president with this wonderful group of directors. With Ron Jeffries and the staff, of course, many of you know this last season has been one of many, many, many challenges. We basically have lost 4 key employees. 3 have passed away, and another had resigned, and so we're so grateful for the community and other relatives and past directors and community servants that have stepped up to make the Central States Fair happen for this community. But in opening, I am led to open in prayer. You know, one of the great things that this state and this country, that we are so blessed that we call upon the Lord for His blessing, for His protection, for His guidance, and yes, for His strength. And so at this time, if you would stand and gentlemen remove cover, let us be thankful for the gathering we can have for the Central States Fair and ask for protection and give thanks. Father, we begin by remembering the memory of Paul Niebel. We ask that, Father, his impact on this fairgrounds and on this body of people, that it would continue to resonate amongst us all. But Father, we thank you for his life, for his path, and we'll never forget how valuable he was. Father, we thank you again for this country as we celebrate 250 years. We thank you for the way of life that we're allowed to live here in South Dakota. We think of the horse, or in the Lakota words, the Shunka-Wanka, or in the Spanish terms, the caballo. We think of the importance of what it is and has been in all of our agriculture endeavors. We thank you for these wonderful people, these volunteers, these wonderful directors. We ask for your blessing and protection over them, their families. We thank you for our leadership of this state. Yes, for our governor, our legislators. Too, Father, protect them, bless them, guide them, give them wisdom. Now as we prepare to, Father, enjoy another festivity, the Central States Fair, we ask that we honor you through all of our efforts, and may you protect, guide, and strengthen our paths each day. We thank you, and we give it in Jesus' name, amen. You may be seated. Last March, every March we have our annual meeting and we pass the baton, if you will. And this last year I had the privilege of being with me, the Vice President, Quentin Riggins. And Quentin, the baton was really passed to him last March. But this is one of the first major events that he gets to reside over as president. He's an incredible leader. He's a family man, a coach of his kids. Not as good looking as his wife, but he's still a pretty good guy. Welcome Quentin Riggins to the microphone to introduce the president of the Central States Fair.
Thank you, Jim. I appreciate the introduction. Welcome, everyone, to the 2026 Central States Fair. When I think of the Central States Fair, the first thing that comes to mind is family. Some of my greatest memories are as a child attending the Central States Fair with my mom and dad, going down the Midway, going to rodeos, seeing all the exhibits with my family. And I've been thankful enough to get to pass that on to my kids, are here with me today. And enjoy the fair just as much as I do. And I think that's not atypical of people in this community and around our community love this fair. And this fair is not possible without an awful lot of hard work. And there's a lot of thank yous in order to make this happen. The public doesn't see all of that hard work. They don't see that in a matter of days, this parking lot gets transformed into what you see right now. It takes a ton of work. First, I would like to thank our representatives from the city and the county for all of what they do for this fair. They help make it possible by keeping it affordable for families, by working with us to make sure that we allow as many people as possible to afford to come to the fair. They also help keep the fair safe. A special thank you to Sheriff Mueller and the Pennington County Sheriff's Department for all the work they do. In order to keep the fair safe, we have to have a very great relationship with them, and they have done all that is possible to help make that possible. I would also like to thank the members of our board of directors. These guys work hard. They don't just sit by and use this to build a resume. They work to make sure that everything goes off without a hitch. So with that, I'd like to introduce our board members. Marv Larrabee, our vice president. We've got Nancy Maynard, who's our secretary. Dustin Jenner, our treasurer. We met Jim, our past president. Louis Brunson. Lori Cope. James Halverson. Megan McPherson. Bob Mills. Roger Porch. Sarissa Thompson. John Roberts, who's our city council member. Deb Hadcock, who's our county liaison, and Ron Roskinick, who's our alternate county liaison. Thank you all for all the hard work that you do. I would also like to give a great thank you to all of the staff at the Central States Fair. You guys are the lifeblood of this fair. You guys make all of this happen, and without you, this couldn't occur. You guys have been through a lot this year, and you guys have gone through it and made 2026 as great as ever. And that's a testament to all of your hard work. You guys have done this for Paulie, and everybody sees that. And we want to say thank you to you from the board of directors for all that you do. Because without you, this is impossible. So I would encourage the public, if you see one of our Central States Fair staff members around this week, tell them thank you. And then go pay them the ultimate compliment. Go home, tell your friends and neighbors to come to the fair and enjoy it, because that's truly why they do what they do. Thank you, everyone, and enjoy the fair this year. With that, I'd like to get Jim back up here to introduce his friend and a true friend of the fair.
Well, thank you, Quentin. It's always a privilege when I get to introduce dignitaries. I'm not very good at it, so I'm going to get a little practice. You know, the first dignitary that's going to address us, of course, of our 34th governor of South Dakota. And so what some of you maybe didn't know about Larry is that he's an old bull rider. Yes, he pushed legislation to bring rodeo to be the official state sport of South Dakota, the only state in the United States that claims that. Well, yes, how about that? Thank you. I'm always so appreciative. I've known Larry Rhoden for 53 years. I was figuring it up the other day. We went to high school together, played football together. We were roommates at Sunshine Bible Academy. We were on a rodeo team together, a two-man team. I was there, and I pulled his bull rope for the first time. Now, some of you might wonder, well, what was that bull ride like that Larry did back in the day? It was exceptional. We got down in the bucket chute, we pulled that rope, everything was right, he nodded his head. I mean, he's a gutsy guy. And he would come out of there and he had his chin tucked, he was lifting on his hand and his chest was out, and it was perfect. for 2 jumps. Would you welcome our Governor, Larry Rhoden, to address as we open? Thankful for you.
Yeah, well, you know, I have this thing. I found out the older I get, the better I was. And so when I think back on our bull ride days, or our rodeo days, the two-man rodeo club, half of us were pretty good. And when I look back, I think my bull riding was, I always say that I was better than most. Didn't take me half as long to put a ride on a bull as it did them other guys. Well, thanks, Jim, and thank you to all of the people represented here behind me. You know, as they were making the introduction, I thought, what an A-team of quality people, quality South Dakotans representing this organization and the Central States Fair. So my privilege to be here and welcome you all here. It has been the privilege of my lifetime to have the opportunity to serve as South Dakota's governor, a state that I absolutely love. And I said it many times, that South Dakota is the freest, best state in a nation founded on the principles of freedom. And I mean it, and I say it without apology. That we have such a quality group of people all across this state. And I think it's really because of our culture, our heritage. So much of the fabric of South Dakota was created through the homesteaders. We talk about the homesteaders back in the day and how tough they were. Well, the fact of the matter is the majority of them weren't. And after the first winter, and they realized how tough it was to make a living on the plains of western South Dakota, many of them survived. And they packed, the people that weren't the toughest and most resilient, packed their bags and moved back to Iowa or Pennsylvania or wherever they came from. It was the most residual, the most industrious, the toughest ones that survived and became the fabric of South Dakota. So again, welcome to all of you to the Central States Fair. I look forward to these events, getting out and meeting your friends and neighbors that you don't see that often through the years. So God bless you all, and may God continue to bless our great state of South Dakota. Thank you.
I know I'm not next, but we don't want to forget. Would you welcome the First Lady, Sandy Rhoden? Sandy, would you stand up and be recognized? Thanks for joining us today. Okay.
Well, it's tough to follow the governor, isn't it? Well, first of all, welcome to the Central States Fair. What a time to be alive. You know, when I come to the fair, I'm reminded of my first day home here in South Dakota. It was a Sunday evening in the late 80s, and I had arrived here from Texas as a young boy, and I remember my family saying, we got fair buttons. I didn't know what that meant, but it meant we'd come to the fair, check out the concerts, the rodeo, and all the activities. So for me, each and every year when we have the fair, it's part of the tradition, it's part of the DNA of what welcomed me to Rapid City as an 11-year-old boy and really welcomed me home. The fair represents nostalgia. You smell nostalgia in the air? A little bit of funnel cake maybe, but also nostalgia. And we think about the good old days. So many of us have so many great memories of our own childhood. And many of us have great memories of bringing our children here, and maybe even our grandchildren. And that's what's great about the fair, is you're able to take in the past, remember all the great times and what makes South Dakota so special, what makes Rapid City so special, but you're also creating the new good old days. Folks, we are in the good old days. And while we look backwards, we're also experiencing life as it happens right now. I encourage you this week, as you enjoy all that the fair has to offer, that you soak each and every moment in. That if you're going with loved ones, whether they're friends or family, that you take a time to cherish it. If you're a parent with young children, trust me, as an empty nester, the time goes by quickly. get on the ride, buy the hot dog, go to the show, do what you got to do, create memories. That's what it's about. It's about people in a special place doing remarkable things, and that's what I love about the Central States Fair. I was so honored to serve as a city council liaison once upon a time. I was honored to serve on the board of directors when I was off the city council, and I'm honored today as mayor to celebrate the Central States Fair and what we have to offer here in the 250th year of America's founding, in the 150th year since Rapid City's founding, and of course a special year for us all as we celebrate the Central States Fair. So I have a proclamation, and it goes like this. One of these days I need to get a scroll. That would be so much cooler than a folder, wouldn't it? Yeah? Gotta make that happen. Daryl, where are you? We gotta make that happen. All right. Whereas for many generations, Rapid City has been steeped in history with its first fair in 1887, and during the last 81 years of the Central States Fair has continued the legacy by celebrating the diverse cultural fabric of our community. Whereas as Rapid City celebrates our 150th anniversary, and over the past 81 years, the Central States Fair recognizes the gathering of local youth, 4-H members, and FFA participants exhibiting the values of hard work, dedication, and leadership through agricultural and creative projects. And whereas we celebrate the 81st anniversary of the Central States Fair with fun-filled planned events for all ages. For 9 days, the impact of our local and regional agricultural community is highlighted through the PRCA Range Days Rodeo, Extreme Bronx Finals, along with 3-day concert series, motocross racing, demolition derby, midway activities, carnival rides, lots of food, and cold beverages for all. And whereas the Central States Fair draws more than 100,000 locals and provide economic, educational, and social value by bringing families, local businesses, and visitors together to our Black Hills region, and is one of the largest events in Rapid City during the summer months. And whereas this year's fair theme, Where Generations Gather, promotes all generations to gather, young and old, to end our summer season with Western heritage and culture as a key partner in the Rapid City community, along with our local and regional support. We continue to proudly share the ranching and agricultural industry story from today and past generations. And whereas the Central States Fair staff, board of directors, community leaders from Pennington County and Rapid City, business partners, law enforcement professionals, and volunteers continue to share the vision and passion to make this annual event a memorable experience for generations to enjoy and look forward to each year. Now, therefore, I, Jason Salamun, Mayor of Rapid City, South Dakota, do hereby proclaim the week of August 21st through the 29th as Central States Fair Week. It is signed, sealed, and it is now delivered. Let's have a great time. Thanks to everybody who makes it possible. God bless you all.
Thank you, Mayor Salamun. At this time, I would like to invite up Delaney Apple, who's a member of our Oglala Lakota family, for a traditional blessing.
Ya metakiapi tona ya hipi chante iushkia wachina peuza. Delaney Apple machiam na Lakota jishti la ewalakam. Now, I want to welcome all of you guys to the Chesapa, to the Black Hills. Many of us grew up here. Many of us travel in and out and around the area. So I welcome you guys all for the Central States Fair. As I was listening to the words being spoken before me, brought up some memories. So my grandfather was a historical figure as well. His name was Wasu Maza, also known as Dewey Beard. And the stories that I heard of Dewey Beard, he would ride horse into his 90s. He had black hair. He had all of his teeth. That don't happen for very many of us these days. He would ride horse, and the fair had always held a spot for our native cultures, for indigenous cultures of the area. So my grandfather and a lot of his relatives would go to the fairs. They would ride horse, they would do parades, they would do social dances, and they would express themselves in their culture for the communities. So that brought up that memory for me. whenever I think of the fair, I think of Wotakuye, and it's gonna mirror a lot of the words that were already spoken. In our Lakota way language, Wotakuye is the foundation of our culture and most cultures across the world. Wotakuye is kinships. How do we address our kinships? How do we look at each other as relatives? So Wotakuye is an important part of our Lakota culture and our upbringing. And so today, with the blessing, I was asked to say a prayer, but our relative had already opened with a prayer. So I thought maybe a song, if that's okay with you. I don't have a banjo or a drum, but I'll do my best. Kashla kamakati tu lecha ekjevechashla na dona ohipi no kavitam hena thokashla yushkia ohipi na woshkate hena yoktia unkupi thokashla dagnishicha ki phapshni thokashla na doni lecha yo oyokšiča pišni thokashla midakwi lecha makochi aka omani na Wotakuye kaha thokashla na dona atkuko hukinicha dona wakaja piki dona wabeleni chauko mani pito kashla nalena milazata hena wichashi trachopi nalena omni chiapiki yuhapi hena awayagla kapo nadako eheki dako chumpikte hena yuashtekte kashla nadako yase. I just say thank you guys and welcome again to the Central States Fair. Ed Chigala Pachi.
Thank you, Delaney, for being here today and for being a part of our organization. We do appreciate you coming here today and giving that song for us. Lastly, we have Ron Jeffries, a man who's been synonymous with the fair for about 3 decades now. Ron's got about 5 minutes, so I just figured I'd tell him that before we wound him up and got him going.
Thank you, Quentin. I did also want to recognize Commissioner Gary Drews back here, served here, he's served in here, but he's done our community well. Would you please give a round of applause to Commissioner Gary Drews? So we have a lot to celebrate. It's America's 250th birthday. It's Rapid City's 150th birthday. It is the Sutton Rodeos family's 100th birthday. It's 100 years in business. It's Anheuser-Busch's 150th year. And it's the Central States Fair's 81st year. And it's the 100th anniversary of the Tilt-A-Whirl. How much more do you want to celebrate? Jill DeLay was credited with coming up with our theme this year that was Where Generations Gather. And when you think about that, as Delaney had mentioned, people have been coming to this fair right here for years, well beyond the 81 years that Central States Fair has been in existence, because it's 81 years because that's when we incorporated as a fair. Prior to that, there have been generations that have been gathering here for rodeos and activities since Rapid City was hay camp. So it really does go back a long way, and the generations continue to come. I look back out, my wife Kathy has been here with me every year. Our first date was on the Ferris wheel 35 years, no, more than that. We've been married 35 years, but 35 years ago, our first date was on the Tilt-A-Whirl. Our son Kit's first job was at the fair. It was short-lived. It was short-lived, but and he can tell you that story over something else later on, a drink or a beer or something. But he also came back out here, and as a youngster, we had a jump house, a Pepsi jump house, and they said, well, here's the jump house, but we can't man it. So I took Kit, he was 12 years old, and I said, Kit, you're gonna watch the jump house and just make sure that the big kids don't roughhouse with the little kids. So Kit said, okay. And I left him there for a little while, and I came back about 45 minutes later, and he'd gone over to the stage area and got a couple of chairs and set them up beside the door. And then he went over to the concession stand and got a cup and came back and borrowed a pen and wrote tips on it, and he set that beside it. And then when the little kids were coming over, he would set them in the chair and take their shoes off and put them together and then lift them up into the jump house. And the moms and dads would go, oh, that's so nice, and they would just put his tip in. So he's been at this fair business for a long time. Many generations, and it'll be generations to come. As this year, we get to welcome our grandson and two beautiful little granddaughters will be joining us here at the fair this year. So generations, where generations gather, is truly fitting for the Central States Fair. Many thanks have been given out, as everybody's had a chance to speak before me. But I did want to say one more thing about my staff. We're a small staff. I mean, a very small staff. When you look at the size of fair that we produce and the number of people that we employ as staff members, we are on the smaller side of the scale. Fairs are either volunteer-driven or big money-driven and big population areas where they have 250,000 people to attend a fair, and so they have money to generate more staff members and offer more things. We supplement an absolutely outstanding staff with boards of directors and committees. And many of you here have served as either a director or on a committee, as a director of Central States Fair Inc. or as a director of the Central States Fair Foundation. And we appreciate that. Our board of directors, as Jim said, it's not a resume builder. This is a chance to come out and really give back to the community. So we're so grateful to all of you there. If one more time you'd give a welcome to my board of directors, fair directors, the foundation directors, and my staff, if you would, please. I'm not going to go through the schedule. I will tell you, though, there are a couple highlights that did not yet make the schedule. One of them is a fireworks show that's being put together to come after the Extreme Bronx Finals. So it should be outstanding and fun. Another one is that the Budweiser Clydesdales called up and said, hey, it's our 150th birthday, can we come to the fair? So we said, absolutely, you can come to the fair. We're going to be doing a Clydesdale hitch program next Saturday, the 29th, from 2 to 4 right down here in front of the grandstands, and they'll do a Clydesdale parade through the fairgrounds. So we're excited to have the Budweiser crew with us. And I mentioned the Tilt-A-Whirl with its 100th anniversary. Alan Cockerham is with Carnival Americana. Alan's family, he's second generation in this carnival business. He's done an outstanding job. Somebody came back to me as we're setting up and said, I just came back from Cheyenne, and I loved the carnival they had at Cheyenne. And I said, that's Alan Cockerham in Cheyenne as well. Would you please welcome from Texas, Alan Cockerham from Carnival Americana. Folks, that's the allotment of my time because Jim said I only had 5 minutes and I only have 15 minutes more presentation, but it's hot out. Quentin has one more thing to correct.
Thank you. We do have one more proclamation from Pennington County, so I would like to welcome up Commissioner Deb Hadcock.
Thank you. Hey, we are the county. Thanks for everybody coming this afternoon. We appreciate everybody being here. One thing I do love about the fair, when we were kids, I was more city folk, and I think I talk about this every time I come up here. But since I've been on the county commission, I've learned a lot about ag, and I've been out to a few ranches and learned about getting or being cowboyed up. So that sounds kind of strange what I just said, but I just like to thank everybody that represents the fair. Many people from many generations, every different walk of life, been around for a long time. I've been around just a few years, of course, but I just love it. I love everything about it. I love the midway, ranching part of it, the horses, the military stuff, and watching a team of people, and as we talk about gathering, a team of people that get together every year and make this fair possible. Without the board, without many people, the city, the county, the state, this wouldn't happen. It takes a lot of volunteers. It takes a lot of people and a lot of time to make this happen. And it's been pretty awesome since I was a kid, and I've lived here all my life. So I'd like to thank again the board members, the ag community that's made this possible as well. There's a lot of volunteers in there. There's a lot of people from the sheriff's office, just the vendors. Everybody comes together for gathering for this event to make it happen. So we really appreciate it from the county. Our commission is, Ron Rosknecht is here today. Gary Drews, our chair, is Ron Weifenbach and Jerry Durr. So we love the fair, we support the fair, and we also appreciate all the people in the county, the outlying areas, and the people in this city that support it, because it is a huge, huge economic driver. It brings in tons of people and tons of money to help with the economics of Pennington County and the surrounding areas. So thank you for coming today, and again, we appreciate you, and I'll read the proclamation instead of keep talking. On behalf of the Pennington County Commission, the Executive Proclamation, Pennington County, South Dakota, 2026, where generations gather. The 81st anniversary of Central States Fair brings together a generation of young and old to gather and celebrate agricultural heritage, foster community spirit, and create a lasting memories for years to come. Whereas the Central States Fair is a place where generations gather as we celebrate the 250th anniversary of American tradition, recognizing that the Central States Fair is an economic driver for Pennington County, Rapid City, and western South Dakota, bringing families together to gain insights to the region's agricultural industry. Whereas the Central States Fair will feature a vibrant array of events including Western hospitality for Extreme Bronze Finals, PRCA Ring Day Rodeo, Mud Busting Rodeo, Youth Agriculture Exhibits, Country Western Concerts, Demolition Derby, Arena Cross and Freestyle Motorex, and amazing Midway Carnival. These are just a few of many events held at the Central States Fairgrounds. Whereas we applaud the Central States Fair Board of Directors, management, staff, Pennington County, City of Rapid City, our community leaders, and hundreds of volunteers that bring hospitality and safety to make the 81st Annual Central States Fair event an experience for all to remember. Whereas the Pennington County Commissioners and employees recognize the 81st Annual Central States Fair held in Rapid City for the next 9 days, welcome good old-fashioned gatherings that bring Western hospitality and friendship for all to enjoy. Now therefore, Pennington County of South Dakota hereby proclaim Friday, August 21st through Saturday, August 29, 2026 at the 81st Annual Central States Fair. That's on behalf of the Pennington County Commission, and again, we thank you all for putting your time and your energy and being here today in this hot weather, because it's really hot. Thank you, and God bless you all.
Now if our media partners would come up here with the cameras. Three.